Hi guys, Peter Finch here, and yet again I'm answering your questions about the technical aspects of the swing and the short game that you want to see answering. And today it's about how not to fat and how not to thin chip shots from around the green. Now, fat shots are when you just catch the ground just before the ball and normally flump, I believe is the word, just flump the ball in front of you. It's a very destructive shot, not only for your score, but also for your actual psyche as well, because if you do fat a shot like that, it can start to play on your mind and you're just desperate not to do it again. A thin shot is almost uncontrollable when you actually hit a real thin from around the greens. It just comes off when the club face just catches the leading edge of the club face, just catches the ball pretty much halfway up, just scoots all the way across the green, and it's pretty much uncontrollable. Both these shots will not allow you to get up and down from around the greens when you really need to. And coming into the season, it's the part of the short game that you really need to be sharp on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a bit of an explanation of why you would fat and why you would thin shots, and then talk you through kind of some of the cures and some of the things that you need to be practicing. Now, fats and thins are often caused by the same things in the actual swing kind of breaking down, which both affect the angle of attack into the ball. Now, I'll just kind of briefly kind of talk you through these. If you've not seen previous videos on my channel about chipping, I've done quite a few in the last few weeks, just check out my channel, check out the description below to the links for those videos. But for the general little chip shot, I've only got about 10 feet here onto the green. I'm getting my feet slightly open, which opens my hips, because I don't have time to turn my hips into impact. I'm putting weight on my front foot, about 60 to 70%. I'm leaning my hands so they're opposite my left thigh into this position here. Now you can see this creates a shaft angle which is tilted towards your target. The hands ahead of the ball, and my left arm, my shoulder, and my right arm are forming this triangle position. Now, in an ideal world, when you're actually hitting a chip shot, you move this triangle back with no moving parts, so the wrists aren't hinging or anything like that. We're just moving the shoulders back into impact and then moving the shoulders through, keeping the wrist nice and firm, keeping that triangle shape all connected and never breaking down in correlation to the shaft. Now, what tends to happen when you hit a fat or when you hit a thin? Something within this sequence breaks down. Normally, especially when you're hitting, when you are hitting a fat and a thin, coming into impact is when the club head starts to overtake the hands and you start to get a little bit of a flick at the ball. Now, what this does is, rather than keep the angle of attack slightly descending onto the ball, the actual club takes over. It almost starts to ascend in its angle of attack through the ball. Now, what this can cause, it can cause you to hit the ground before the ball, but it can also cause you to hit that thin. So you can do this and you can flick and catch that ball thin, and it'll fly off along the green with absolutely no control. But you can also do this shot catching the ground just before and hitting that bit of a fat as you actually go in. It's quite hard to tell here because off the mat it can kind of skid, but that was a contact quite a long way before the ball, and on an actual green that would have probably landed about there. So both very destructive shots. So the first thing you really need to be doing, guys, is when you're actually hitting this chip shot, keeping those wrists nice and firm and keeping them ahead of the ball. Just focus on moving this triangle between your hands and your arms, just back and through. If nothing breaks down, you'll be able to just plop it down onto that green, plop it down to that green, and just get it rolling out towards the hole. With a couple of different people I've certainly had in for lessons recently, there have been a few other reasons why they were fatting and thinning. One is a kind of a deceleration actually through the point of impact. So getting the setup really good, keeping the angles all very good, but then coming into impact, almost stopping as you're just trying to help the ball onto the green. So when you are hitting a chip shot, keeping up that slight bit of acceleration through the ball. You don't have to be smashing it, but you do need to be getting that acceleration through the point of impact. And that's just going to allow the ball to start to travel down towards the hole a little bit easier. Now, also apart from deceleration, probably one of the biggest causes of thins that I certainly see are when people come through the ball, and rather than staying in their posture, rather than staying in this fantastic setup position, is the body and the chest starts to lift away from the shot and the arms retract inwards towards the body. So as you lift the chest and as you retract the arms, you kind of come up away from the ball, you hit the top or you hit the middle, and you do hit that little bit of a thin. Always feel like that chest is over the ball, and always feel like those arms are remaining extended. You don't want them retracting inwards. As soon as you're retracting inwards, you're just trying to help it up into the air. The actual retraction does kind of often coincide with a bit of a flick as well. So you really want to be nicely extending those arms out. So into that setup, that chest over the ball, back and through, and keep those arms extended out in front of you. Go and end with a good one. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see at the end of a video. So, chest over and extend. I know what I'm going to be working on the next few weeks. Right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please leave your comments in the box below. Share the video around and try and identify if any of these issues are causing you to fat or to thin. Lots of practice before the season begins will get you into a really good set and a really good kind of mindset to actually attack that handicap as soon as you can. Right, guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Follow me on my other social media platforms as well, and I will see you down here next time.